Reach 7 of the Avoca River stretches 32 kilometres from the township of Avoca north through Natte Yallock to Archdale Junction. This upper reach of the river receives its flow from the headwaters in Amphitheatre and the nearby Pyrenees Ranges. Primary production is the major activity in the area, with a mix of cropping, grazing and viticulture. The area is steeped in history, with Aboriginal habitation going back at least 13,000 years. Avoca was the home of one of the first major goldfield discoveries in northwestern Victoria in 1853. And the area had a population of 14,000 in the rush of 1854. Since settlement, mining and farming have left their mark on this reach of the river. Today, the river is judged to be in quite good condition, in spite of low rainfall over recent years. The main threats to this river reach are the decline of water quality because of salt brought into it by sedimentation of the tributary creeks and vegetation removal along the riverbanks. For so many reasons, the river has always been important to the local people, who have very strong feelings about this waterway.
Oh, people around here are absolutely passionate about the river. The river's the lifeblood. They've always had water for stock and domestic use, and water for fishing and water for swimming, and but it is downgrading.
My granddad and my dad used to live on the river, and now my granddad still does, and he's told me how it's changed in the last 10 years.
Now, we used to have a big swimming hole, and that was part of our young life when I was young. Every hot night or whatever, into the river, and weekends used to have swimming carnivals and gymkhanas, and the river was a big part of our young lives. But
yeah, look, as a kid, the fishing hole at the reserve, I was only a kid, and I do remember them quite well, the fishing carnivals in particular.
Oh yeah, when I was a young bloke, we could catch nearly every night between sundown and dark, blackfish and probably 2 or 3 redfin, and once and 50 times a cod.
The old man used to talk about blackfish. Well, I'm not real sure that they'd survive anymore. I think there's too much salt.
These days, the fishing's certainly not good. Increased salinity has meant a steady decline in the number of many fish species. It's also affected agricultural use of the water.
I had a pump on the river about a kilometre upstream from here, and the water used to, this is a fall of the country, the water used to run down and irrigate the paddocks down further, but the quality of the water deteriorated and we had to stop doing that.
There's also been heavy sedimentation of the Avoca caused by soil erosion in the higher country.
The number 2 comes out of the hills and used to flow down virtually above the surface. And then my forebears converted it to with a single furrow plough and a horse. And now on one of the corners, the single furrow is now 50 metres wide and 6 metres deep. All the dirt is gone, I suppose, ended up in the Avoca River eventually.
But local observations about the river and the changes that have been happening aren't just anecdotal. Since the early 1990s, students at the primary school at Natte Yallock have been carefully monitoring this section of the Avoca, keeping an impressive data record at the school.
The children at the Natte Yallock school have shown us what they can achieve by going down to the river, taking samples, being alert on the changes.
The Natte Yallock Primary School are embracing Waterwatch. I've seen a DVD that they did and a claymation, and it's fantastic. They're so keen on river health, and from seeing that I was also encouraged to teach my children that as well.
Well, Natte's always been one of those schools that's been really motivated and interested in learning about its local environment, and we had a terrific program with Saltwatch, and then it developed into Waterwatch, where monthly monitoring took place, and we had great associations with the Waterwatch program, which built on getting the kids involved with other activities and taking some of those activities to bigger places and explaining. One of the great things we loved doing was talking to adults about what we were learning and what we were understanding, and I think that's one of the benefits of a program in a school like Waterwatch, was that it gave us the chance to tell adults what we were learning and what we were understanding, and making them realise that there's a problem here and we'd like to work on solving it.
Retired school principal Hayden Pilgrim has been the driving force behind the school's interest in the river.
The world we live in was changing so quickly that it was an area that the kids needed to become involved with, because it's their world and we messed it up, and these kids have got to fix it. So that's where we came. That's the starting point that we came from. It goes back to early 90s. And it was just a study of what was happening in our river. The river is actually on the front doorstep of the school, basically, and it used to flood every year. We'd have floods and send kids home, and the need to just see what was happening to our river, because the flooding stopped in the early late 90s, and we needed just to see what was actually happening with the quality of the water. And we did an area of about 30 kilometres, I guess, the length of the river, where we just did a study of what was actually happening with the quality of the water. And it originated from salt. Salt was the big thing in the late 90s.
Good. I must have my maths genius up here. Thank you. 2,670. So we couldn't drink that, but pretty much any other animal could drink that, and they'd be pretty happy about it too. I've been facilitating the Waterwatch program here at Natte Yallock Primary School for the past 3 years. The students here have a real passion for the river, and not only do they undertake water quality monitoring, but they go above and beyond what is expected of them with the Waterwatch program. As part of their monitoring, they've identified that there's 2 main issues at this site, those being salinity and turbidity. Now that we know what the issues are, we can start and lead to action.
With help from the local Landcare group, the Natte Yallock students have shared their Waterwatch investigations at a number of national conferences. The school findings have also encouraged changes to local farming practices and motivated community action to look after the river.
Oh, look, there's a lot can be done for the river. It can be turned around, and I hope it is. As farmers, we're sort of struggling with the dry times. We're struggling to employ, to do a lot of this work ourselves. But these projects are sort of community things anyway, and sometimes we forget that people like in Maryborough enjoy and surrounding areas enjoy a river and enjoy coming to fish and for recreation, and so therefore I think some of these projects we should have assistance to do them. I don't think it can be expected that the farmer do them on his own.
I think it would be great to be able to continue to celebrate the river as it is, but also to build on it and enhance it.